Greetings, my beautiful cuddlebugs. Welcome to Ramblings of a Book Dragon, where we dive into the warmth of good books and unravel stories that feel like a literary hug. I'm Allie, your host, and I'm thrilled to embark on another cozy adventure with you. So grab a cup of your favorite beverage, snuggle into your cozy reading nook, and let's begin. But before we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so that you won't miss a single episode. I really value your feedback and book recommendations. Now let's begin. Today I'm reviewing the movie version of Wicked the Musical starring Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, Ariana Grande as Galinda, and Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero. I'm going to be giving an overview of my thoughts going into the movie since this is part one, as well as an overview of the musical itself. Wicked the Musical is based on the book written by Gregory Maguire, which is based on the book The Wizard of Oz, which is funny because it's a fan fiction of the book. I don't know, it's just really funny to me. And it basically posits the idea of are people, as Galinda says at the beginning, are people born wicked or do they have wickedness thrust upon them? Like, is wicked born or is it created? Which goes into the whole psychology of are things created or like it's all very it's just all good, clean fun. But was she really more of just like a scapegoat of what the rest of society is because she is different from everyone else because she was born green? And it's all very curious in part one because it's part one, which goes to the end of the first. It's basically just act one, which was interesting going into this because it's a 2 hour and 45-minute movie. So it's like, how are they stretching act one to be 2 hours and 45 minutes? So I will admit, going into this, I was a little concerned. Because it's going to be a 2-part movie, and B, because it's a musical to movie adaptation. And there have been times historically for me, because I am just picky, where there have been some times where musical to movie adaptation there just wasn't something that sat right. And I think I kind of finally figured out for me personally, because again, these are all just my own personal thoughts and opinions, and if you agree or disagree, that is completely fine. And if you disagree, I would love to get your opinions in the comment section below. I'd love to have a conversation about it, and I would love to be able to continue to learn and grow, because it is important as a reviewer to be able to continue to better develop why my thoughts are my thoughts, like why, and not even that you should listen to me because I am not an expert. I am just, as some people like to say, I'm just a girly pop with a microphone. That's all. I'm just spewing my thoughts out into the void. That is all. And I just wanted to be able to share my thoughts with the world and take it all with a complete mountain of salt. And I would love to be able to see your thoughts if you agree or disagree. But please, again, as always, if you disagree, please be kind in the comment section. But I think the reason why I'm oftentimes not a huge fan of musical to movie adaptations is because it doesn't feel like it's going to a musical. Like, there is a certain vibe to going to a musical. And when you go to a musical movie that was adapted, it feels like it was Hollywoodized. It was turned into a movie. And it's just like, for instance, Les Mis. It's a good movie. I just don't like it as a musical movie. And I think it was because it just, I'm going to use Wicked as my explanation for why, because I really liked I really liked Wicked because I wasn't originally planning on going to see Wicked in the movie theaters. I was going to wait. But then when I saw that the soundtrack was available to listen to it, I clicked to listen. And I was like, oh my God, it's like listening to the original soundtrack. Like, they didn't mess with the original music. And it's like, okay, it's because Steven Schwartz, the original writer, he is the one for the movie. And it's like, that's amazing. And then going to the movie theater and being in the movie, it was like being at the theater, as they say. It was like being, like, I've never been to Broadway, but like being at the stage. It was just really, really cool. And I think that's what I want in a musical movie, because one of my shticks is, and this is something like, I don't know how much of this is people being all theorizing, as they say, or whatever the correct terminology is, but it's like, I wish that, like, I love the fact that there are some shows like Les Mis, Phantom of the Opera, Hamilton. There are some musicals that are filmed as a stage production, and I don't understand. And if there's someone that knows how this process actually works and isn't just theorizing, like if someone actually knows and miraculously has listened to my show, which would truly be an honor and a privilege for me, please let me know in the comments section. What is that process? Like, how do they determine? Because I would think that I'm not even asking for every single show that gets to Broadway to be filmed for everyone, because like, I know that there is the whole theory that Broadway wants to keep it for the elite, because I know historically that's what the theater is. It is for the elite. And I would think that as we're in the 24th century, and as 21st century, I mean, and as we're getting all these slime tutorials, like, they don't want people to record. So wouldn't it make sense to have an official, like, we already have the soundtrack. Why can't we have the recording of the musical for people to watch at their own convenience? Because like, I was taught when I saw Hamilton at the theater myself, I was talking to a couple that was sitting beside me, and we were talking about the show and the Disney version, that the Disney recordings, like, they watched it and they had traveled to be able to go see it live. Like, it's like when people go see live performances of their favorite singers. There is something about going to see a live production, a live performance, and having a recording of the show to be able to watch whenever you want. That's not going to take anything away. But there is something different about a movie musical, and I think there is just something that shifts when Hollywood gets its little mitts on some of these movies, like Les Mis, because it's a good movie. It's a fantastic actors, fantastic cast, fantastic everything, but there's just something, just in my own personal opinion, something about it just doesn't fit right as the musical version. That's just my opinion. But for Wicked, that fit right to me as a musical movie. Like, that's what I want. I want to be able to close my eyes and feel like I am at the theater, like I am listening to the actual show. And that is what I got. And the actual production, everything, the emotions, everything was just beautiful, just fantabulous. And I just, bravissima, as Phantom of the Opera would say. But yeah, I just thought it was really, really well done. Everyone did a really great job. I had heard that Ariana Grande was going to, like, that was what she had dreamed of for years, to have to be Glinda, and I felt like she really did an excellent job as Glinda with a G. Cynthia Erivo, I thought she did a really great job. I didn't know who she was before, but I'm excited. But her voice was just phenomenal, and I can't wait to continue to see more of her work, and I can't wait to hear more, like, No Good Deed. I can't wait to hear her sing No Good Deed. That is going to be amazing. I can already tell. My only complaint, and this is just me as a bookworm, is that in Dancing Through Life, Jonathan Bailey, why? Why did you have to be so mean to those poor books? I mean, the library was so cool because they had these rotating, like instead of just having bookshelves, it was like these rotating things. And it's like, oh, I wonder how they did that. Like the engineering feat was just so interesting. And it's like, I wonder how they did that. Like, that was really, really cool. And how they kept the books in place but then how were they using them to keep the feet? How did they keep the feet from touching the books and everything? But that was really, really cool. But the poor books, I mean, it was really cool how they used the books to slide across the floor and everything, but I thought he was fantastic as Fiyero. I mean, we know he's a good, suave, and debonair man based on how he was in Bridgerton, even if he had a stick shoved up his butt for a little bit as the eldest son, as Anthony Bridgerton, but as Fiyero, whew, and the chemistry between him and Elphaba was just chef's kiss. Especially when I liked the fact that they met for a little bit, for like a second, as she was coming back after she saw what was going on with the animals talking in something bad. And they met, and he has his talking horse and everything. It was just so cute that they had their little mingling, and he was trying to be all suave, and she was just like, idiot. That was just so cute. And that was what I liked about this movie, is like, I was concerned, like, how are they going to stretch Act 1 to be 2 hours and 45 minutes? But it didn't feel like it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. Like, there's sometimes where they add fluff for fluff's sake in movies, like, especially when it's a part 1 and part 2. I'm looking at Harry Potter. I'm a Harry Potter fan, love Harry Potter, but I didn't, like, did they really need to separate them into part 1 and part 2? It was like at that weird time when everything was going into part 1 and part 2s. That was a weird time. But then again, there was a lot of things that they were messing up with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, but that's beside the point. But with this, I liked what they did because it let us sit with the songs and the characters, and it wasn't rushed. And I thought that made a lot of sense because they were adding little things in, but it didn't feel like they were adding fluff for fluff's sake, which I thought was really, really nice. Like, we got little bits of additional information. Like, we got little things that were added in that were enhancing the musical, and I believe that they were probably taking them from the book. Like, I think I read the book in high school, but I don't really remember much from the book. But as a fan of the musical who read the book and forgot the book because I wasn't a big fan of the book, I can say, like, I thought they did a fantastic job, as I'm going to continue to say and gush over and just take my opinions with a complete barrel, mountain, sea, red Dead Sea of salt. That's all I'm saying. But I thought it was really good. I don't know what other people are saying, but I can see why everyone is loving this musical. But yeah, the fact, like, it made sense for this musical, the way that they were adding things in, and they were letting us sit with the songs a bit more. They were letting us be in the world of Wicked a bit more. And they, like, just the world, it felt like a bit more world building in a way, with the way that they did everything without being too slap in the face, if that makes any sense. Like, it didn't, if that makes any sense at all. But I think that is where I'm going to leave it for right now. Like, I think everyone's probably done overviews of what Wicked is. It's about Elphaba's life and times and how she meets Galinda and everything. I didn't really want to go into an overview of what Wicked the musical actually is. I know it's extremely different from the book, and I'm not really upset about it because I remember I tried reading the book and I wasn't a big fan of the book, but I love the musical, and I'm really happy with how the movie turned out, and this just became a rant about musical to movie adaptations. So I hope that that helped a little bit to explain what goes on inside my head. But again, as always, please feel free to comment your opinions if you agree or disagree. And I will catch you next time, my beautiful cuddlebugs. Goodbye.